today we'll be discussing about arrays topic, guys. Okay, very important. JavaScript. Let me create a arrays file, arrays demo I'll mention .js. Okay, and firstly, if you're coming from Java, the arrays can store what? Only homogeneous type of data in JavaScript, right? So in JavaScript can only store in Java, arrays can be stored, right? Only homogeneous type of data you can store there. Heterogeneous you cannot store, right? Like homogeneous means what? Like firstly, homogeneous means same type of data. Okay, same type of data. And heterogeneous means what? Heterogeneous means mixed type of data. Okay, now that is the difference between homogeneous and heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means you can store the mixed type of data. Okay, now let me just give an example here. Like let me just give one variable, let's say num equal to, and if you want to store like some variables. Okay, now generally how we were storing the values initially is that, like, let's say num equal to 2, like this is how we're declaring, right? Like so far semicolon is not mandatory. Okay, so this is how you're declaring. So now this becomes what type? This just becomes a number type. Okay, and then you print this particular num value, absolutely fine, you get the desired output. You can run this and you will get the output like 2, right? And this is for what? This is a primitive data type in this case, but array is there, no? Okay, array is a non-primitive data type. Array is a non-primitive data type. Okay, why we call array is a non-primitive data type? Firstly, because it will store collection of values. It will store collection of values. Okay, for that reason we can say that array is a non-primitive data type. It will store collection of values. So now what I'll do here is just not, okay, I want to store some other values, like let's say 4, 6, 8. Now these values, will I be able to store that inside a variable? Okay, yes, you can store that, but make sure that it is an array. So how to represent array? Just write a square bracket before the number and after the number. Now this is an array. Now this is a array. Array is what? Array is a collection of values. Okay, so now you store this collection of values inside a variable which is num, and just hover over num. You can see that it is pointing towards number array. It is representing number array. Okay, means you're having collection of numbers. That's what it says. When you store 2, it just stored that its type is number. When you're storing collection of value, it says that, so you're now storing number array. That means there is like collection of numbers, right? And this is what? This is a homogeneous data type. This is a homogeneous data type. This is a homogeneous data because you're storing same kind of values. All these are numbers only, right? All these are numbers only. So I was telling that in Java you can store these kind of values, or you can only store these kind of values. Okay, now because you will be declaring here like integer, like something like that, right? Integer, and you will declare a square bracket and stuff like that, and you'll be able to store only homogeneous type of data. What about in JavaScript? In JavaScript, sir, can I store only homogeneous type of data, or can we store heterogeneous type of data? The answer is, in JavaScript we can store homogeneous and heterogeneous type of data as well. Okay, so here not just this, we can store this as well. This is important in Java. How we were doing that heterogeneous type of data? For if you want to store heterogeneous type of data, we were using array list. We went with collections topic. Here no collections topic, we are storing the heterogeneous data here only. Now let us see that. So let me just mention one variable, let x equal to, and let me mention some number and some string value. Now let's say Kumar. I'll also mention some boolean. Let me also mention null. Null is also one data type, right? And now let me try to print this value x. Just observe this output also will see 2468, and this output also will see, right? See here. So this is the first one is the homogeneous data, and second one what you're seeing is the heterogeneous type of data. So you can store both the kind of values, homogeneous as well as heterogeneous. So this is what heterogeneous type of data. Okay. Yeah. Now this is one thing which is JavaScript is really good at. Okay. So homogeneous as well as heterogeneous is supported. Okay. Not all languages will support this feature. Okay. Now, um, okay, what happens? Let's say if I mention something like let a equal to this, I'll keep it as empty array. So can I just give a empty array? So what will be the output in this case? This is an empty array, in fact. So now when I run this, I get the output like empty array only. So if you have no values, you will get the output in the same way, empty array. This is an empty array. Okay. So this also fine. Homogeneous data we have seen, heterogeneous type of data we have seen, then empty array. So if there is no value, obviously we get the empty array only. Okay, now let me do one thing, that I'll just take this particular value. Okay, I'll just take this particular value. Let me try to do some modification based on this. Okay. Mm, or let me just take another array. Okay, let me take string this time. Let b equal to, or let fruits I'll mention. Okay, fruits variable I'll mention. Fruits equal to, in square bracket just mention some fruits. Okay, apple, banana, mango. So yeah, we are storing now string values we are storing. Okay. Okay, now let me run this. See the latest output. So string values are getting printed. Apple, banana, and now can I mention a square bracket next to a variable? Is that possible? Is that okay? It is not possible. Okay, don't mention like this. Okay, so this is not the right way of writing the array variable. Array variable just simple variable, that's all. Okay, don't write a square bracket next to the variable. We keep it simple. Okay, now these are the values what I've stored. These are the what? These are the array values, because array is nothing but a collection of data, right? These are like collection of values only storing inside a variable. Now if I want to replace this banana with some other fruit, okay, so how is that possible? So simple. Okay, one way is that there are like multiple ways. I'll just show one way, that now you can use the square bracket and mention some number. I'll provide 1 equal to, let's say, orange. Okay, so fruits of 1 equal to orange. See, 1 is representing the this index, banana is index. Okay, the value of banana is represented by index 1, because index starts from 0 in arrays as well. So apple index is 0, banana index is 1, mango index is 2, like this. Okay, so 0 1 2, like this the index is following, and fruits of 1 equal to orange. Okay, so now let me print the original array. Okay, original array is what? Fruits, right? Now let me print it again, and let me just comment the previous arrays. Okay, let's see how this works. Copy everything, control slash. Okay, now let's just focus on this. Now what we are trying to do is, we earlier had the array values like apple, banana and mango, and now I want to replace banana with some other new value. Okay, for that what I did, I simply provide an index, this variable of index 1 equal to orange. Okay, and then I'm trying to print the original array. Now let us see if banana is actually replaced by orange or not. Okay, so now you can see, right, that now banana is actually replaced by orange. Right, this way you can do the modification in a simple way. So there are other ways also, I'll tell you that in the upcoming class. Okay, but this is the simple way of modifying the array values. You can provide any index number, and you can provide, okay, you can provide 0 also. If you provide 0, so apple will be replaced by orange. Now instead of apple you are able to see orange. Okay, now what happens if I provide some incorrect number? Now let's say I provide like 5, so there is no index number with 5, right? So we have only 0, 1 and 2. That's all the index you can provide. 0 you can provide, 1 you can provide, 2 you can provide, but now I'm providing 5 over here. Same thing if you're doing in Java, you will get index out of bound exception. So here what happens, let's see. So here this output you got fine. You mentioned fruits 5 equal to orange. Okay, so it's saying like two empty items orange. That's it. So no error message you're able to see here. So in fact it is saying that it is adding the orange also, but where it is adding, after two empty items. Okay, so in the fifth index it's trying to add the value. Okay, so this is one. Okay, so this is zeroth index, this is first index, this is second index. Okay, and it is adding like third and fourth index as empty items, and fifth it is adding orange. Okay, so that way it is still performing the operation, no issues with it. Okay, so like this it is adding two empty items and then orange. So but again this is not a preferred idea. Okay, this is not a preferred. um so there are other ways how we can add the values with that. Now what happens if I provide some negative numbers, minus of 1? Okay, actually index starts on 0, right, and I'm providing minus 1 here. Okay, again it is saying that, so apple, banana, mango, then it is mentioning minus 1 of orange, means add some values, then you'll have orange. Okay, like this it is giving the output. Okay, but ideally we were supposed to get the error message, right? So here we don't get the error message. Okay, still it is saying that, okay, minus 1 you added. Okay, minus 1 means before apple it should come. Okay, before apple that value should be added. So what it is doing instead, like you can see that in the output that, okay, see now I'm running it again. Okay, minus 1 then orange. Okay, so that's how it is mentioning minus 1 colon orange. Okay, but note that these are not the right approach. Okay, let me comment this part. One. Okay, so I hope you guys are clear with these steps so far. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, 1 minute, let me charge my laptop. Okay. Okay guys, if no questions, then we'll proceed further. Now we'll see array methods. Okay, some basic array methods we have it. Okay, so now we'll see about push. You have push command, you have um, pop command, you have unshift command, and then you have shift command. Okay, now let us see what all these commands perform the action with. Okay, now let me provide some normal array value. Now let me mention let fruits only. I'll take it out. Fruits equal to, and then let me provide some fruit values. Let's say apple, then orange, then I would mention banana, what happened here? Okay, the comma was inside the thing. Okay, so comma after the string. Okay, now good. Okay, so each and every value should be separated by a comma. Okay, every value should be separated by a comma. Okay, fine. So fruits, some values are mentioned. Now what should I do is that I need to add some new value. Okay, we just have like three values, right? Like three values, but again from the index wise it is starting from 0. Index wise you will be able to see that apple is 0th index, orange is first index, banana is second index. Now let us say you want to add some new value at last. Okay, how to add the new values at last? So you'll use that variable fruits dot, and with that let us use the push command or the method, you can say. So you can just hover over it. It says that new values to add to the array and appends new elements to the end of an array and returns the new length of an array. Okay, so basically it says that you can add the new elements at the end of an array. Okay, so inside this push command mention some value. Okay, now let us say that you want to add some new value like grapes. Okay, and then let me try to print this particular array variable. Now see if grapes is added or not. Okay, so now grapes is added. Now similarly, like can I add multiple values like grapes added, and now let me add kiwi. Is this okay? Can I add like multiple values? Let me see this. Again, we can add multiple values also, but make sure that, okay, please note that all the values will be added at last only. Values will be added at last. Okay, values will be added at last, not in the first. Okay, yes, first also we can add it. Okay, if you want to add values at first, so you'll use this command, which is unshift command. Okay, let me mention this push command. Okay, it will add values at the end of an array. Okay, this is the push command. Okay, now let me do one thing. Let me add some values at the starting of an array. Okay, so starting of an array. So this time I will use unshift command. Okay, okay, so this should will add values at the beginning of an array, at the beginning of an array. Okay, so let me comment this push wala code and this also. Let me just keep the same variable, or let me do one thing, that I'll copy this and this entire stuff, let me comment this out of it, or I'll mention this like fruits1. This is a variable name. Okay, now I want to add some new values at the starting of an array. So how to add it? I'll use the same variable fruits1. Okay, and for that I'll be using one value, okay, or the command, which is unshift. And since you're adding a new value, you need to provide what value you want to add. Okay, so now let me just mention strawberry. Okay, someone is not on mute. Jaita. Hmm. Huh. You can give any type of data, no? That's okay. Okay, see here, now instead of strawberry, let me mention some value like 1. Okay, so now here fruits is not defined, so let me type fruits1, it should be variable fruits1. You see, now you're able to see 1 has been added at the beginning. So you can give any type of data. Basically, array can store heterogeneous type of data also, right? So you can mix the values. Absolutely fine with it. Now here, for the learning purpose, I'm just making the fruits values I'm providing. Okay, now here let me provide strawberry. Okay, and you'll see that the changed array values. Okay, the array values are now updated: strawberry, apple, orange, and banana. And you need not provide the index number on all, because by default it will add the new values at the beginning. Okay, so what will the unshift command do? It will add values at the beginning of an array by default. You need not provide the numbers on all. By default it will add, and you can add multiple values also. Okay, see now strawberry, along with this let me add grapes also. Okay, should be in a quote. Okay, see strawberry, then grapes, then apple, orange, banana. So like this the values are getting. Absolutely fine. And not necessary that you need to store the same type of data, only string type of data. You can store number type of data or any other type of data. So purely JavaScript arrays are heterogeneous as well. You can store any type of data, it doesn't matter. Okay, so you use the unshift command, right? So this will do what? It will add values at the beginning of an array. Okay, fine. Now let's do one thing. I let me comment this part, and now what I want to do is I want to remove some value at the last. Okay, means I want to remove some value at the last, like banana I want to remove. How is it possible? Now I'll be using the pop command. Okay, this will do what? It will remove values from last. It will remove values from the end of an array. Means it will start removing from end whatever values you have now. It will start removing one by one values from the end of it. So now let me use this particular variable. Let me mention fruits2 just for simplicity purpose, because earlier variable I mentioned 1. You can mention 1 also, but it's been commented out. but if I uncomment it, like all the variables, it have the different variables. Okay, so now fruits2, that's the variable name what I provided. So now what I'll do here is, now using that fruits2 variable, let me use a pop command. And here, that's it guys. I just use pop command and let me try to print the array variable. Like let's see what all values it holds now. Okay. See, I use pop command and I mentioned what pop command will do. It will remove value from the end of an array. See now let me run this. You are able to see the output only apple and orange. The only apple and orange you are able to see values. Apple and orange. Okay, what happened to banana? So banana was removed. Okay, I just use the pop command and that will remove the values from the end of an array. That's it. Okay, and you need not provide the index number or not. Just use a pop command and that will be removed. And unlike the previous command, unshift and push command, we actually provide some value, right? So here is, it is not mandatory for you to provide values. Okay, even if you provide value, now let us say you provide like value like banana, it will still remove the banana only. Okay, it will still remove banana only. Or if you provide some value like let's say orange you provide. Okay, so now what happens? Will it remove orange here? See now pop command by default its definition says that it will remove values from end of an array. But what we are trying to do, we are trying to add orange. We are trying to remove some middle value. Will this remove orange? Let's see. See, it is still removing the last element only. Apple and orange will still be printed. So whatever value you provide, that is, it will not think about that. It will not even check that. Okay. So it will not even check whatever values you provide. It will not even check that. By default, the last value it will remove. By default, just pop command. Inside this, even if you provide some values, it will not show any error message, but it will, not take that value into consideration. Okay, so that is about the pop command. Okay, so now let me, okay, so what we did is we removed the values from last, right? And there is one more command. Okay, so far what we have seen is that we wanted to add values from last, so that we have done, right? And how to add values from the beginning, that we have seen. Then how to remove values from the end of an array, that we have seen. Now we'll see how to, okay, remove values from the beginning of an array. Okay, for that the command what we have is shift command. So this will do what? This will, or it will remove values from the beginning of an array, from the beginning of an array. Okay, so now let me mention some fruits variable, fruits 3 equal to, and let me mention the values like apple, banana, grapes, some value like that. Mention more, let me mention kiwi also. Now my purpose is I want to remove some values. Okay, I want to remove values from the beginning of an array. I want to remove values from the beginning of an array. So what will I use? Shift command, as I told. So now see here that let me just mention fruits3 variable dot shift command. That's it. And it will remove only one value. Okay, just like pop command. Pop was also removing only one value, right? So this will also remove one value only. Okay. So see here fruits3 dot shift command. The purpose is to check if it is removing the value from the beginning or not. Okay, so now let us see what is the output. So you should be able to see the output like this: banana, grapes, and. See banana, grapes, and kiwi. You're able to see the output, right? So apple is removed. Okay, why? Because you use the shift command. Okay, so will it remove multiple values? No way. Okay, so shift will only remove single value. Pop will also remove single value only. Pop will remove the values at last, and shift will remove the values at beginning. Okay, now let me try to add some multiple values here. Okay, so now let me see that I'm adding some multiple values here. Hmm. Will it remove starting two values here? See, I'm trying to add like apple and banana, and then I'm trying to run it. See, still it will remove the first value only. Okay, so this whatever values you provide inside this parenthesis, that it will not even consider that. Okay, so it will by default remove. My purpose is what? My purpose is to remove single values, and I'm removing it. Okay, so here apple is removed. That's it. That is about the shift command. It will remove the values from the beginning of an array. Values, or we can say value, because single value it is removed. Okay, that's about the shift command. Yes, only last value it will remove. Only one value it will remove at last. And I know that you might have a question that like, sir, I want to remove last two values. How to remove it, right? Or I want to add some new two values at the beginning. How to add it? So for that we have some additional commands. Okay, so I will tell about that probably in the upcoming class. But yeah, for now, pop is just removing one single element from the end of an array, and shift will remove one single element from the beginning of an array. Clear? Okay, and the same is applicable for the collection of values as well. Now let me just mention x equal to let me mention 10 comma Kumar comma, and let me mention true comma, and let me mention null. Okay, this is the collection of values, right? So now let me use the above comments what I showed. Okay, so so what all comments we have seen? We have seen like push, pop, unshift, and shift, right? So using this x variable, let me add this push command, and inside push, hmm, I need to mention some value, right? So what is push command doing, guys? Can anyone quickly tell me what is push command doing? What is the purpose of push command? It is used to add values at the last, right? At the end of an array. Now let me add some new value. Let's say Vinay I am adding. Okay, this is push command is used to add some new value at the end of an array. So now let me try to print this value. Okay, okay, x variable, let me print it. And I'm trying to add some new value at the end of an array. Okay, and this is a heterogeneous type of data, right? Will it work? Let me run it again. You're seeing the error message, right? You're able to see the output. See, sometimes you might see the error message, ignore it, just save it once. Okay, so see, firstly you make it auto save here, go to file and then make it auto save here. This has to be ticked, auto save. But still, even if uh, you're saved auto saved also, sometimes you'll see the error message. So make sure that every time you save your code and then run it, so it will run fine. Okay, so now see here, now Vinay is added at the end of an array. Okay, and it is mandatory for you to provide some value. Okay, what happens if you don't provide any value? See, I'm just keeping like push command as it is, and then I'm running it. Hmm? So it is just printing the same values, so it has no effect, right? So whenever you're using push command, make sure that you're adding some value. Or what if I provide just like just like this, only tick I provide? That is also one array value only. It is printing that particular value like that. Okay, but something you had to provide it here. Some value you had to provide it. Okay, and if it's for string, provide in a quote. If it is just some number, just provide without quote. Number, boolean, and null or not, you can provide without quote. Okay, see now it is printing 20 at last, like this, right? So that's about the push command. Similarly, we can do it for rest of it also. Now using the same x variable, let me comment the push command here, and let me use what? Let me use unshift. Unshift will do what? Is anyone? What will unshift do? It will add some new values. Where it will add? At the beginning or at the end? At the beginning, right? So now let me add Vinay at the beginning of an array. X dot unshift Vinay, and let me print this here. Okay. Okay, now observe that Vinay should be added at the beginning. So Vinay 10 Kumar true and null. So that values you're able to see. Okay, so now similarly, now let me comment this part, and this is the original array 10 Kumar true and null. Okay, now I want to remove some value from the end. So what I'll use? Pop command. Now should I need to provide the value here? You need not provide the value. When you're using pop and shift command, don't provide the value. You should provide the values at push and unshift. That is because you want to add some new value, no? So what value you want to add, that you need to provide. Pop means by default it is removing the last value. By default, okay, you need not provide the values only. By default it will remove the last element. See now, using this x variable, I called the pop command, and let's print the array values. Now let me run this. See here, this null should be removed now. So 10 Kumar and true, you're able to see the output. Absolutely fine, right? So now similar to this, let me use another command, x dot shift command. So what will this command do? This will remove the first value, right? So whatever value you had at the beginning of an array, that will be removed. So now let me run this. You should be able to see Kumar true and null. That's all. Okay, Kumar true and null. So you're able to see that, right? So this is how the array works. Okay, so that's about it, guys. So that's about today's session also. So what we started with arrays only. So we discussed that. So here there is no differentiation. Arrays you can store homogeneous type of data also, or you can store heterogeneous type of data also. And array is what? Is it a primitive type? No, it is a non-primitive type. Why we are saying it is a non-primitive data type? Because it will store collection of values. Primitive data type is just, it will just showing single values, right? Like earlier you were using number, string. So all those are what? Those are primitive type of data. So array is a non-primitive data type because it is storing collection of values. And array can store homogeneous type of data, heterogeneous type of data. Homogeneous means this, you're storing similar kind of values, like numbers only you're storing. Heterogeneous means like you're storing mixed type of values. Okay, see here, this is what this heterogeneous type of data only, right? You're storing mixed type of values. In JavaScript, you can work on both homogeneous as well as heterogeneous. Absolutely no issues with it. Okay, and we saw how the homogeneous works, and then we use this. You want to replace any value, so you'll be using this index with 1, right? Basically here array index starts from 0. Array index starts from 0, and if you want to replace any value, just provide that index number roots of 1, like this. Orange, this banana will be replaced by orange here. Okay, so with the index number you can still change the values because array is following the indexing concept again. Array values are stored as per the index, and index starts from 0, like that. And then we saw the 4 important commands, okay, in arrays. Very commonly you use this, which is push, pop, unshift, and shift. So push is used to add the values at last, pop is used to remove the values at last, unshift is used to add the values at the beginning, and shift is used to remove the value from the beginning. Okay, so that we have seen. right? Or you can just consider this push used to add the values at last, unshift is used to add the values at beginning, pop is used to remove the values from last, and shift is used to remove the values from beginning of an array. Okay, so that's how we need to remember. Okay, so there are a lot many other commands also. You can actually remove the middle values also. Like so far we have not seen like how to remove the values from the beginning of an array, right? So all these kind of outputs we have still not seen, right? That we'll be seeing with the upcoming class. So we'll see some new commands there. Okay, so that's about today's session. If you have any question, you can let me know.